What's up guys, John with Sage Dynamics, and today I want to talk about dry practice. So what is dry practice? Now, I get a lot of questions on it, and it's not annoying, but I figured let's make a video on it, make it a little easier for everybody to at least go one place and get most of their their questions answered. So what is dry practice? Dry practice to me is the practice of any chosen skill that you would like to perform well. That to me encompasses what dry practice is. And to me, you can dry practice anything. You can dry practice your guns, you can dry practice with knives, you can dry practice with your bare hands, dry practice driving even. So there's a lot of different things that you can incorporate into it too, and we'll get into that. So why should you dry practice? A lot of people ask me that as well, and it's okay. Some people just don't know because they're new, or they just don't understand what it is and why they should do it. And to me, I like to explain it with, if you had to perform this chosen skill, depending on whatever the stimuli is, would you perform it well? Or at least good enough to get it done? Would you be able to perform it in the extent of either saving a life if you had to, or having to stop somebody that was trying to hurt you or others? Are you able to perform those things? And that leads us right into mindset. So mindset to me is something that's very important. It goes into everything I do usually. And one of the biggest things about dry practice and mindset is doing it when you're actually in the mood for it. If you're not in the mood, or you're just in a shit mood for the day, or you just had a bad day or something, don't go ahead and dry practice, because either you're gonna waste your time, or you're gonna have a really bad time doing it. Now, other people may vary in that. You may have a bad day and you love dry practicing, so you go home and dry practice. Awesome, not a big deal. But if you're not in the mood, you don't like it, it's a chore to an extent or something like that, and you don't get a feel good out of it, then don't do it when you're not in the mood. The other thing about dry practice and mindset is, practicing like your life depends on it. If you're not using some kind of target that shows a person or some bad guy or an anatomical figure of any sort, and you're using these little kind of sticky notes or light switches, which is fine, then you need to start visualizing an actual human being, because that's what we're practicing to do. Unless you're doing or unless you shoot competition where you're practicing against cardboard, put up cardboard. Hey, why not? Practice for what you're training to do. So I practice for incapacitating human beings. This gives me good representation of, or a good-ish representation of a human being where I can incapacitate them easier. So that's why I use that for dry practice. And that goes along with my mindset of visualization and helping me get into the zone, for a lack of better words. So how do I go about actually practicing? And that is safely. So I take all the ammo, take all the live guns, all that stuff, and get it out of the way. I either use a SIRT pistol or an unloaded gun, and if you carry an RMR and iron sights, or you use both, practice with both. If you have a rifle, practice with your rifle. If you have, people bolt gun and actually dry fire bolt guns. So whatever it is, dry practice it. If you have a shotgun, get some shot shells, because you need to practice loading that thing. Everybody needs practice loading shotguns. So using what you're using, but do it safely, okay? Don't use live ammo, that's stupid, and you're gonna get somebody or hurt your walls and stuff. So don't be dumb about it. So mine is a mixture of SIRT pistol and my dry live guns. And one thing I do is I like to call it a pyramid method or a Simon Says method. And that's where I actually start building and stacking skills upon skills. So I'll start with, let's say, just clearing my garment and getting a good purchase on my gun. And I'll do that 10, 15 times, whatever it takes, slowly working up to speed. And then I'll incorporate the next, stacked on skill, which would be to draw the gun and drop my garment. And I know I'm going in little steps and these little increments of my draw, but that's an important part of your actual, concealed carry and actually shooting is your draw. And a lot of people get hung up around it. Well, this is a great way to get through that. So clearing your garment, getting good purchase, drawing your gun and start orienting it towards whatever your target is, whether it's cardboard or a human being or whatever it is. Dropping your garment. Now you'll notice I didn't go like that. I just let it go. And I got purchasing, or with my silver hands, started purchasing my gun. All right, so that's part of the skill stacking. The next skill that would be stacked is actually the presentation and sight alignment, sight picture. So making sure that that all lines up nicely and there's no having to move or shift the gun to get a good sight picture, or shifting my head to get a good sight picture. Just make sure you're going slow, that way it lines up nicely. So with whatever the target is that you're looking at, make sure that you pull it out, get that good purchase, and get a good shot. All right, if it's a SIRT pistol, you can get multiples and you can do this multiple times. If it's an actual firearm, then you'll have to practice something different. So you'll go ahead and you'll shoot and you'll tap and rack and you'll shoot. All right, so now you just incorporate a lot of different things into one thing. So you've stacked all the skills of the draw and your garment. You stacked your grip, stacked your sights. You've gotten a good shot. Did it move when you did shoot? Did your sights move? If it did, fix your grip. If it didn't, you're good to go. So from there, boom. And then not just that, but now you're getting another repetition of doing some kind of malfunction just to reset your gun. Don't just waste it and just reset it. Use it. Use that time and that effort into something that you can incorporate that would make more sense into practice. So practicing some kind of tap rack and getting another shot. Did that one move? Did your grip after you did the tap rack, did it go back to a good solid grip? Or is it some shit grip that you got just because you were going quickly? Figure all that stuff out. Analyze your stuff, okay? Analyze the movements that you make, because in the long run, all those little things are gonna be super useful when you do this live at the range. Now, those are just a few steps in a long list of steps that you can do. And you can incorporate different things. You can change these steps. If you just like clearing your garment first, you can do that. So all it is just clearing your garment, you can do whatever you want. And this is not like the end all be all of dry practice, okay? Not just that, but you can incorporate stuff like using your weapon light and actually getting that into action. Using your living room, like your couch or something, for cover. You can set up cover. You can do all sorts of things. Movement from one place to another. Work on your footwork. All sorts of things can be done dry. And not just that, but it costs you little but time. I'm John with Sage Dynamics. Practice like your life depends on it.